Enough to knock me out, but I'm still holding the throne. You'll never know till it's over. So pretty it hurts. Just beware of the thorns.
Hello YouTube. I want to talk about hustles in prison, making money. And one cellie I had in particular, it's kind of cold out here, but hopefully I can get this done. If you're new, subscribe, share this. We're almost 2,000 and we're still steadily climbing. Let's keep going. Comment. I want to hear what you all have to say. Now, I think one of the best, let's get into this. I think one of the best hustles is a good tattoo artist. He's got to be good though. But if he's a good tattoo man, then he's gonna make a lot of money. The problem is, there's several problems actually. One is he's got to worry about his stuff being taken, so he's got to have a good hiding place or somebody to hold it for him. And sometimes they look at tattoo patterns, but you can get away with that. I was just saying they're drawings. Most times, if they can't find a gun, it's hard to prove. But if you're in there with another tattoo guy in the wing, pod, whatever you want to call it, and you got more business than he's got, he may try to figure out a way to get rid of you. You may write a snitch kite, or have somebody else write a snitch kite, or do something else that's, dirty. The store man, he makes pretty good money. That's a lucrative business there too. I won't recommend anybody becoming a store man unless they're willing to deal with it. I was a store man for a short while, and it was left to me by my cellie who got transferred. Didn't really want it, but excuse me. It leaves hardly any time to do anything really, because you're always having people pay you, always people coming trying to get things. Sometimes you can have your cellie run for you if you're out in the yard or something and he's inside, but you got to be willing to deal with people trying to beat you. Don't let anybody try to beat you. I remember one time I was in Farmington when I was a store man, and I worked in the wing, and a guy I knew real well from the walls, he was the laundry man. And what that meant is when laundry came back, he took the carts to all the wings, and he could get volunteers to help him. Well, there was this guy owed me, and I told him, Sonny was his name. I told Sonny, I said, hey, when you're over there, ask that guy about stuff he owes me. Sonny goes and says something to him. He goes, oh man, he's in another wing, I ain't paying him. And Sonny just looks at him, shakes his head and walks off. Well, Sonny comes and tells me. And I said, I'm going to go over and see him. So Sonny goes out there and says, hey, I need a volunteer to help pass out stuff. The laundry bags and stuff. And they said, okay. And got me. And I walked right up in the guy's cell. Sonny was standing in the doorway. And the guy's, oh. I said, you said I'm beat? He goes, no, I was just joking with him, I was just kidding. Sonny says, you wasn't kidding. And I said, you got any canteen in here? He goes, yeah. And gets in his locker. I said, I'm taking it all. And I took everything he had. And it was more than what he owed. The only reason I took everything is because he was trying to beat me. You know, and I could have done worse, you know. But anyway, that's you know, it was just too much of a headache. But anyway, there's people that draw. There's people that does people's laundry. I had a guy come by and tell me one time, he said, "I'll do your laundry every week, personals, you know, because your state clothes you send out, but people never want to send their state clothes out because it could get stolen." And sorry about that. I just felt weird about somebody else doing my personals. I wanted to do it myself, you know. So I said no, but he made money off of that. Now there's the barber. If you got a good barber, always take him something, you know, a bag of coffee or something. So, you know, I've never seen a barber yet that was out of coffee. They always had coffee for that, a lot of it. But I had this cellie named Bob Snyder. I'm going to tell you about Bob Snyder. He had a life without, and he kept writing the governor and the president and everything, telling them, because this was like in the early 2000s, telling them that he would go to, it's around 2004, 2005, that if they put him in the military and sent him to Iraq, he's willing to go if they would let him go after, you know, his time was up over there in Iraq. Everybody told him they wasn't going to go for this, and they didn't. In fact, he never heard back from him. But he kept trying. But the one thing that impressed me about him is he never got no money from home. And the job he had, which was in the kitchen, he made about $20 a month. And he would save all his money except for like a couple bucks for some coffee, you know, $3 or $4 for some coffee. Spend like a little bit on coffee, and the rest of it he saved. He's saving up for TV. But he did these cards and stuff, and I would tell people, you know, I was impressed with him, saving all this money to get a TV. So I'd tell people, man, if you can, man, buy a card or something for him, you know, give him a little bit of business, you know. And so people would, if I cooked up, or some of me and my partners would cook up, you know, I'd kick him down a little something. He didn't really want anything, but that's the whole point. He never asked. He never begged. He never mooched off of me. So I would kick him down something. You know, I mean, he was saving up for his TV, so I wanted to help him. And so it came time, he got time to buy his TV. He was able to buy the TV, but he had to buy a cable and possibly a splitter. Well, I had a splitter. I told him, I said, there's a few ways we can do this. I said, I got a splitter, so don't even worry about a splitter. And the cable was only like $1 or something, I think. $1.80. I said, you can go ahead and buy the cable, you know, and forget about your coffee, you know, and I can get the coffee for you. Or you can buy your coffee and stuff, and I'll buy the cable. He goes, man, I don't want to owe you. And I said, man, it's not about that, man. And so he finally agreed. So he bought his TV, and I bought him the cable and hooked it up and everything, you know, and he was just happy. He was chilling in the cell watching TV, glad that he can watch whatever he wanted, you know. Had him a new TV and flat screen, you know. I think they just started selling the flat screens. Um, but he was happy. He tells me, he goes, "How can I repay you?" I said it was $1.80 or something, man. I ain't worried about that, you know. And he goes, "How come you're willing to help me?" I said, sometimes you get sellies that if you give them something, they try to take and more. They want more and more and more and more. I said, "You're not like that." I said, "In fact, you never asked for anything." He goes, "No, if I can't get it on my own, I don't want it." That's how he thought. And as I said, so I really appreciate that, And but I said, now you got your TV, got your headphones and everything. I said you can kick back, and I said the money you make now you can spend on Zuzu and Wham Whams, And he goes, "Yeah." And I said, "But I wouldn't quit that hustle of yours if I was you." I said, making those cards and doing those envelopes and stuff. He'd lay an envelope out, man. Even put a little wax on it. It's nice and shiny. Look, tough. And he goes, "Well, I was only doing that because to get commissary and stuff for to get through the month, I said, "Yeah, but just keep doing that." I said, now you have $20, and then plus whatever you're making from your hustle, and just keep doing that." But there's so many hustles in prison. I've seen people do crazy things. Some people would do portraits of people. Like on sketch paper or something, and it either be pencil or colored pencil or whatever. Some pen. There's one guy that was a real good pen artist, but I like the guy that he did pencil portraits, and he could take a portrait of what he would do a lot of times. What a lot of people would have him do is he'd take somebody's portrait, and they'd give him like two pictures of them and a picture of their family members, and he would combine them and put a background so it looked like they wasn't even in prison or anything, Or he'd take prison pictures, take them in the visiting room, and give a different background to it, and he just lay it out. And at the walls, there was people that back then we could paint. That's when we had the hobbycraft, and it was weird back then because the hobbycraft was considered a job. I never considered it a job. I was in there doing leather, but they considered it a job. But it was fun to me. But a lot of people made a lot of stuff and sold a lot of stuff, not just to other inmates, but up in the visiting room they could sell stuff. So if you go to prison, God forbid anybody goes to prison or go back to prison. I don't wish that on anybody. And you ain't got no money coming in. Get you a hustle. You can find a hustle just about anything. And even if you do have money coming in, get you a hustle. I know a guy, his people was willing to send him money, and they did once in a while, but he didn't want his people sending him money. He wanted them, thought they needed it more, that's very admirable. So he had a hustle, but every once in a while, like, he would let them send money, like, around the holidays, his birthday, something like that, But other than that, he just hustled his butt off, and that's what you got to do in prison. Because I want to tell you something. You cannot rely on the food in the chow hall. In Missouri, I can't speak to other prisons. I don't know anything about the feds, but in Missouri, state prison, you're on a 2,000 calorie day a diet. And that's if you eat every single thing on all 3 plates. You're not going to eat everything on every single plate. Very few people did. Actually, Bob Snyder was one of them that did. But, you know, the guy I was just telling you about saving up for the TV. But for the most part, most people ain't going to eat everything. So you have to have other food, commissary, you know. Every time I went to the hole, I lost weight. Because I wouldn't eat everything on the plate. And even if I did, I still think I would lose weight. I mean, I don't think 2,000 calories a day for a grown man is that much. Especially somebody that was active like I was. You know, and I stayed active in the hole too. You know, I would work out and stuff. But if you have no income coming in, or you ain't got a good job in the prison, you got to have a hustle, because you're not going to live off the chow hall food. I can't see it happening unless you go up there and you eat, and then you're getting food from other people. You know, you might be able to. I know a guy that worked out all the time, and every once in a while, you know, he got commissary. He had money coming in, but every once in a while, he'd go up there and just go around asking people for their bread. And a lot of people gave him the bread, and he would gain weight, get big, you know. And then he'd stop on the bread and lose it. And I don't know why he did that, but it was just, every once in a while, he'd just, seemed like he was trying to get a belly on him. And he would for a little while. And then he'd, I don't want it. I wish I could gain it and lose it that fast, you know, but anyway, the hustling, and those, I know there's some I haven't even mentioned, you know, but there's all kinds of hustles. Of course, you know, you can sell things that it's not even supposed to be in the prison, you know, that were brought in by guards or through visiting, you know. Talking about the dope man. I'm not sure if that would be considered a hustle or not, but the dope man is pretty popular in Missouri, you know, in the Missouri prison system. Anyway, that's all I got for you today. I thank you for watching. I think forgot to tell you, I'm going to try to do 5 o'clock Saturday night or evening, do a live for y'all. I'm going to start doing that every Saturday night if I can. And the reason I keep mentioning this is because the last time not everybody was notified, they told me. So I'm trying to get everybody notified. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.